TPP. Hopefully I'm there. I will end it so fast, and we'll make deals with individual countries, not this big web of complicated stuff.
That big web of complicated stuff President Trump was referring to back on the campaign trail, that was October 12th of 2016. Well, it just got more complicated. Take a look at this timeline. January 23rd, 2017, just 3 days after President Trump was sworn into office, he took executive action and did what he said he was going to do. He pulled the United States out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal with 11 other nations. Then, last week, President Trump told his trade team to take a second look at whether the U.S. should get back into the TPP. But then fast forward to just last night, I was about to go to sleep and I look at the Twitter feed and he tweets he doesn't like it anymore, saying, quote, while Japan and South Korea would like us to go back into TPP, I don't like the deal for the United States. Too many contingencies and no way to get out if it doesn't work. Bilateral deals, one-on-one, are far more efficient, profitable, and better for our workers. Look how bad the World Trade Organization is to the United States. Meanwhile, all of this taking place as the world waits and watches this on your screen. President Trump's high-level meetings with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Abe wants the president to rejoin the deal. Will they work together? What will be the ultimate outcome of this hot and cold back and forth script? We bring in one of the world's most foremost legal authorities on global trade from Tuft's Fletcher School of Law, Joel Trachtman, and Rich Ellings of the Commission on the Theft of American Intellectual Property. This is to both of you. Make the case as to why we should or should not rejoin the TPP. Joel, you're up first.
The TPP was negotiated by a group of elite experts at the United States Trade Representative who are patriotic and highly skilled. And what they tried to do was address a number of the issues of market access in those 11 countries that are important to the United States. And I think they did a very good job. The other thing that's going on is that countries like the European Union and Japan have free trade arrangements that will allow reciprocal market access that the United States won't have in either of those places. So in order to keep a level playing field for United States exporters, it's important to be in the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I think that the TPP is not exceedingly complex. It's normal for these kinds of agreements. Yes, it has a number of different provisions that address a number of different things, but those things are necessary to the kind of 21st century trade agreement that we need to have, like e-commerce, like dealing with all sorts of intellectual property issues. So there are lots of things that help the United States there.
Rich, you say rejoin or stay out. And as I just want to let our viewers know, we're cycling through different sectors, whether it's the auto industry, the markets, since we pulled out of the TPP, since President Trump did that. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, well, first of all, hi from sunny Seattle. It's fantastic out here. I feel sorry for the rest of the country.
Yeah,
but
rub it in.
Two things about two things about TPP and any multilateralism that we're involved in today. There are two purposes to it. One is to coalesce a group of like-minded nations in view of the challenges coming out of China. The other purpose, of course, is what's in America's economic and political interests. Whether that's the current TPP, as Japan has renegotiated, probably not. An upgraded TPP in which we have fairness as well as free market, high-level principles enshrined in it. That's something we ought to be interested in because it would fulfill both those purposes.
Trade and tariffs. We have slapped tariffs of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum. You can see how the prices have spiked. And then the Federal Reserve came out with the Beige Book. That's a regional indicator of how things are going. They very clearly said at 2 p.m. Eastern, prices are rising on steel, and it's due to the tariffs, and they are rising sometimes dramatically. Joel, are we starting to see these unintended consequences, and maybe we need to be rethinking these or not?
I think these are the clear consequences, as you're saying, of putting on tariffs. You make goods more expensive. You allow domestic producers to raise their prices. And the important thing about that is it makes it tougher for United States companies that use those inputs, those steel and aluminum inputs, to compete in the United States and in world markets. So you're just making it tougher for United States manufacturers. In the other group of tariffs that the United States has proposed, 84% of those tariffs are on intermediate products or on capital equipment, things that U.S. manufacturers need in order to be competitive.